Touching on Arsenal, we'll come back to more of these super chats in a bit. Touching on Arsenal before we get into their game. Ince, is Saliba the best centre-back in the world right now?
I don't know. Actually, when it comes to centre-backs now in the world, I don't think there's been like one or even a group of standout performing centre-backs. Militao, who was good for a while, had that ACL. I would still probably say Rudiger. I think Rudiger has been the most consistent for a long time, playing big for Germany at the Euros and with in the Champions League. So, no, I wouldn't say he's the best centre-back, but he's definitely a contention, at least top 7. At least top 7, top 5.
Top 7? Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I'm actually, I somewhat agree. I do. It's hard because the way the game is now, you kind of need them trophies to be like, you're the best, right? Arsenal win the Premier League this season. He is the best centre-back in the world. That being said, I think if he goes to Madrid, he wins cups there and he starts for them and he plays every game. So there's that side of the argument. That's why I won't argue who's the best. I think that he's up there. I think he's top. I'd say he's top 3. I think you can top 3. I think whoever you're talking about, I'd say probably right now Rudiger, Van Dijk, and Saliba. And I think you could put them in any which way, and I think it's fair. That's how I see it. And I think like Gabriel, I think he's. I put him high, but I'm not gonna put him. He ain't there. Like I just think there's something you need extra to be there in that top tier category. And I think Gabriel just doesn't have that natural thing that Saliba has when I watch the game and the way he just is comfortable at the back, turning people. I think the comfortability aspect is unbelievable from him. So for me, with the Saliba being the best centre-back in the world, as an Arsenal fan, I'd argue it, yes, with the bias side in it. But if we're talking real, you can't, when Rudiger's winning Champions Leagues and he's doing it at that top level, and they've got more experience. And I think in centre back, that experience thing is a big part of it.
Do you not put? I just want to say one last thing because I've got to jump in a second. But
don't say Romero.
I'm not saying Romero.
Okay.
I think Konate and Ruben Diaz are massively underrated when you talk about top 5, top 8 centre backs in the world. I think the Konate Van Dijk partnership doesn't get looked at the same as Gabriel and Saliba. I don't think. I get Van Dijk's obviously a lot older than the other 3, but they're still a very, very, very good pairing. If I was to say in order, I still think Van Dijk's the best centre-back in the world. I'd put Rudiger at 2nd, and then I'd put Saliba. But that anything between 4th and 9th, you got Ruben Diaz in there. I think Bastoni's a quality centre-back. You've got Militao. Who's the other one? Gabriel Magalhaes. And there's another defender in Italy who's Bremer. I know he's had a bit of a wobble recently at Juventus, but he's still a very, very, very good centre-back. But I think Van der Vaart, I was about to say Van der Ven. Van Dijk is still so disrespected. Like, he's going into a League Cup final, playing against with kids up against the Chelsea side. The average age of the midfield and forward line was like 20 to 18. And he still scored the winner and carried them to a trophy, won a Champions League and a league title. I think Van Dijk's still the best.
I would agree with that.
How can a guy be the best in the world when he's not even the best in the league, man? Come on.
I think Saliba is so close. And if they win the league this year, then there's an argument to say he's better. But as of right now, I think it's still Van Dijk.
I think it's close as well, but I don't care.
Van
Dijk is better.
I'll see you later.
What is it you think? Why do you? What is it that makes Van Dijk better in your opinion, Ram? Unpack that for us.
Well, the fact that I think he hasn't put a foot wrong this entire season. I think again that Wolves game that you mentioned, I think is a bit harsh. I think majority of defenders make that mistake. I think Saliba made that mistake against Brighton, but he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's manages that back line and captains the entire team. I think that has to note something. And I think on the ball, he's just been a lot better. He starts our attacks a lot of the time. And I think he's a better passer and distributor of the ball than Saliba. And Arsenal fans love to talk about Gabriel has been as equal to Saliba last season and comparably this season. But we don't say the same thing about Konate. We still say Konate is amazing what he does, but there's still an element of rashness in his game. and Van Dijk has to be there to sweep him up. And the quality of player compared to Van Dijk is a little bit of a disparity because Van Dijk is that good. And I don't think Saliba. I think Saliba has a better partner than Gabriel. I said before that I think he's a bozo, but he's proven me wrong. But Van Dijk overall as a centre back, the overall package, I think he's just that little bit better than him. But I don't care. Even if it's a little bit, he's still better.
Yeah,
Underrated
Ram.
United, isn't it, that
Just to back on to you with that. How much of that rashness has calmed down because he's got Saliba next to him and Saliba and him work so well together? That's taken the rashness out because people don't ever want to see that. Like he was rash and then he built this partnership with Saliba and it's gone. Now that could be, it's obviously on him as well, but it's also on maybe having a defensive partner that puts you in your place when you are starting to lose maybe a head and stuff like that. Maybe that's a negative for Van Dijk that he hasn't calmed down Kunate if he's so experienced. Listen, I'd probably put, I'll be honest, like, biased aside, I'll probably put Van Dijk a little bit above Saliba. And the only reason, and I repeat, the only reason I put him above is experience. That is the every other aspect of the game. I'm gonna be real now. I'd put Saliba right now because he's younger, and that's to do with age as well. Like, let's be honest, he can't get back the way Saliba can. He don't run back and make slides the way Saliba can. Like, I'll be honest, and chances when you think a goal's going in, well, you'd say you don't need to, but you will need to throughout this season, trust me. But once again, the experience in a centre-back, I play centre-back, experience in a centre-back is massive. Like, that is a big part of the centre-back thing. So I'm not even saying that lightly as the experience. And that experience actually puts him slightly above Saliba. But once again, I do think if we win the league this year, because our defense will be the reason as well that we win the league this year, I think you can't even argue that it's Saliba's taken the mantle. And that's not even a disrespect to Van Dijk. He's how old now? Van Dijk 30.
Turning 34.
Yeah, I still think it's
34.
fair to say. I still think it's fair to say Van Dijk's better, as in right now. What I would say is that if Liverpool, if I offered you this, let me ask you a question, Ram. Van Dijk signs a new 5-year deal, or you can sign William Saliba. Which one are you taking?
Van Dijk.
Oh, you're so biased.
It's not biased, man. I love.
You're so biased, bro.
You and
Look,
PSG are smoking the same thing, you know.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think I think for me, this proves Rudiger. Even I used to hate Rudiger. Terry knows this from back in the day. I used to cuss him so bad, but he's like the blend of Saliba and Van Dijk together. He has that maturity in his game that Van Dijk has, but also the physicality that Saliba has. He's just the perfect blend of it. But like Giuseppe said, experience, knowing where to be, the leadership, everything, it all counts for something. And I'm not replacing that for anybody, especially with the team that we have, because of how important he's been for us being so successful.
Bad manager.
I do understand that, but based on the question I asked, it would be crazy to turn down a player with 10 to 12 years left in his career for a player with probably 3 or 4.
But but we're not talking about the next 10 years, Terry. We're talking about now. We're
No, because again, we're not though, because I said you can have Van Dijk signs a new 5-year deal, or you sign William Saliba. So we're talking about, and the thing with football is that there is some conversations where it is like right now, who's the best player, who's in the best form. That's a conversation. But my question was, who would you sign? When you sign someone, you are not just thinking about this season; you are thinking about the future. But
Terry, I remember you asked me this question a couple of weeks ago. I said the same thing. If it was to piss off every single Arsenal fan, I would 100% sign.
It's not real. That's not real. Then it's not real. Then
Ram, using percentages. What would you say the drop off would be? Taking Van Dijk out of your team and putting Saliba in. What percentage wise? What do you think the drop off would be?
12%.
So you wouldn't take a guy that's currently only 12% worse than your guy now, because by next year he's surpassed him. I'm telling you now.
I'm not talking. Okay, if you want me to be real, I would take Saliba to replace Van Dijk. 100%. That French connection with Konate and him, the understanding, everything like that, it all plays a part. But I'm talking about here right now. I am not swapping anyone for Virgil van Dijk.
That's fair. I get that.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
Yo, can I just say something to the comments real quick? I don't understand
go
why
on.
everyone's saying, what has Saliba won? As if to say, what has Harry Kane won, bro? You still call him the best striker in the world. So if we're talking player ability, why are you mentioning trophies? I never understand the argument. I'll be so real.
Well, I think trophies play a part, and I do if you're comparing two players. So I like getting over the line is part of it. But Saliba's also so young still. I think it's just to disregard him because the trophy's not there yet. I think it's a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Of course, trophies are important. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And I look, whether Saliba does it at Arsenal or whether he leaves and goes to Real Madrid, I just can't imagine Saliba getting to his mid-30s and not having a vat of trophies behind him. I don't see it. I mean, that's where Harry Kane's. I've always said it 7 years ago. That's when he should have gone and left Tottenham, because by now, if he'd have gone anywhere else, even if he'd joined my club that's in the pits, he would have still won like 4 or 5 trophies in that time. The fact is, he stayed at Spurs too long. That's a Spurs issue. How does he have 3 GA if he played 1 game? Yeah, as we said, you're behind. There was the website that I used put all the it used Premier League 2 games, reserve games for some weird reason, which I don't understand because they're basically fucking friendlies. So sorry about that. Saliba is an absolute Rolls Royce of a centre back. His calmness on the ball is unmatched. His reading ain't bad as well. Maths here says, talk about what matters. Who's better in the air? Who is better one-on-one? And who is a better leader? Hint, not Saliba.
Oh, Liverpool fan. Shach.
Bants aside, in 2022-23, when we sprung on the scene, the biggest question was the experience of the squad, performance under pressure. Same goes for Chelsea now, is what Akil says. That's a fair comment, to be fair. London is blue until Arsenal and Spurs win the Champions League twice, then come back with an argument. Okay. I hope you have the same energy and still say Manchester's red then. I hope that happens. Because everyone said Manchester's blue and they've only won 1 Champions League.
It's only 2, man. It's only 2.
Sorry to the Arsenal fans and PSG fans. I haven't won 1 yet. I apologize about that. Sorry, guys.
I'm from Nottingham, so Forest has a close.
Yeah. They don't rely on players. Can someone tell French Jesus that Chelsea got slapped 5-0 without Palmer? I don't know what. Oh, okay. But that was last season with a different manager, right? Surely that plays a part in that instance. French Jesus, you know.
No, it was a good one.
You know, I'll be honest with you. People are just jealous because most men can't grow hair like that. Like I wish my hair could grow like that still at my age. I tell you, bro. I tell you. Yeah, but you have long hair. But you look, Ram, when your hair gets really long, you look dirty.
What the hell?
No, because when you do it, it's all greasy. It's like, wash it, bruv.
Yeah,
like
when you do it, you look like you're from Liverpool.
Ince's hair looks like a mane on a lion. Yours look like a scraggy sort of street cat.
Because I don't want it to go outwards. I want it to go downwards, like Maldini does, or like Calafiore.
Oh my
How about
God.
that?
Bro, when you grow long hair, you look like you're actually from Liverpool, mate.
You look like one of those Nintendo Mii's, isn't it?
No, it's so funny.
No, joking.
Yeah. No, but you're messing with your Ram. I'm only messing with your brother. Any fan that thinks Gabby is on the same planet as Saliba needs to give their head a wobble. Hasn't put a foot wrong all season. Gabby is still top, though. Let's have a little look here. I just want to make sure I read all these out. Palmer is a great player, but he hasn't proved himself against any elite opposition yet. Wouldn't have scored in the final if not for Saka. Yeah, team sport. Who knew? Chelsea's manager said they are worse than Arsenal. Of course he did. This is where managers lie on purpose. He's keeping the pressure off of his team. In terms of Arsenal play.